In this video, you'll observe how properties of the text input component can be used for handling the virtual keyboard. Specifically, you'll learn how to apply the keyboard dismiss mode and keyboard avoiding view properties. Let's recap what you've built in the Little Lemon mobile app so far. You have a feedback form containing 3 text input boxes, and when you click the one for first name, the virtual keyboard appears. With the keyboard on screen, let's say you want to scroll down the page a bit, but notice that the keyboard remains stuck in place. It would be nice for the user and also more intuitive if the keyboard were to disappear upon scrolling. Fortunately, React Native does have an option that makes that possible. Notice that the text input components are wrapped within the ScrollView component, and ScrollView has an interesting prop called Keyboard Dismiss Mode. This prop determines whether the keyboard is dismissed in response to a drag. By default, the value is set to none, which means that dragging does not dismiss the keyboard. You also have onDrag, which causes the keyboard to disappear when a drag is started, and the iOS-only option, Interactive, in which the keyboard is dismissed interactively with a drag. For now, I choose onDrag by selecting it as the value for the keyboard dismiss mode keyword within the ScrollView tag. Note that this will be applied to all text input components that are within this ScrollView. Now let's go over to the emulator to check out this new property. I click on the first name box and enter a name, and then I scroll down the screen. The keyboard is dismissed as expected. Let's try the same thing for the last name box, and it gives the same outcome. This is a very useful property to use if you have a large form to fill out and don't want the keyboard getting in the way. 2 more components I'll demonstrate are KeyboardAvoidingView and Platform. To make these available, I first import both of them from React Native. KeyboardAvoidingView is a component that solves the common problem of views that need to move out of the way when the virtual keyboard is displayed. It can automatically adjust either its height position or the bottom padding based on the keyboard's height. I'm going to wrap the KeyboardAvoidingView as the main container view on top of the ScrollView. I'm also going to move the styling that was given to the ScrollView to the KeyboardAvoidingView instead. This component comes with a property called Behavior, and I set it for the emulator. Depending on the platform used, you can assign different behaviors using the Platform API that comes with React Native. When I assign the property a value of platform.os, React Native will know which platform the user is accessing the app from, whether it's iOS, Android, Windows, and so on. I'm going to add a conditional that says platform.os equals iOS, then the behavior is padding. If the platform is anything else, then the behavior is height. This setting is a recommendation from React Native, so that's what I'll use for this example. Finally, make sure to close the KeyboardAvoidingView tag beneath the ScrollView closing tag. So, the KeyboardAvoidingView component is useful when you have several text input fields on your page and don't want the keyboard to obscure your view of what is being typed into each one. Let's go back to the emulator to review the new changes to the Little Lemon app. I click the first name box and type a name. Then I press Return in the keyboard and click on the last name box. Notice that when the keyboard appears, the last name box is pushed up slightly so that it is completely visible. Previously, it was partially obscured by the keyboard. The same thing happens when I click on the message box. So what the KeyboardAvoidingView component does is push the rest of the view on the top. So you may miss some of the headers or other text inputs, but you will still have a full view of what you're typing, and that's what's important. Note that is how the app appears on iOS, but let's move over to an Android emulator to find how it differs. This time around, the appearance and behavior is slightly different. For example, there is more padding between the bottom of the focused text input box and the keyboard. Functionally, however, it is the same as the iOS version. Again, this component was introduced to solve the problem of views that need to move out while you're still typing in within your text input field. In this video, you learned how to use Keyboard Dismiss Mode to set behavior for dismissing the virtual keyboard when the user scrolls on the page, and how to use KeyboardAvoidingView to prevent the virtual keyboard from obstructing the user's view of text input boxes.